Alright ladies and gentlemen, Ben here back for another video on the Motime YouTube channel. Now today you join me out in the garden. Now have you ever turned up to a client's property or walked out to your own property to do your hedges, give your Murraya hedge a trim, and you've turned up and seen this. Now this is a common problem, so in this video I'm going to be answering what is the cause of these random dead branches in your Murraya hedge, the signs to keep an eye out for that this might be happening, and of course how to treat or prevent this happening or spreading even further throughout your plant and end up killing the whole plant. But anyway, that's the questions we're answering in today's video. Make sure you are subscribed for more lawn and garden educational videos and product reviews. Let's get into the video. Alright ladies and gentlemen, let's answer the first question, and that is what causes this kind of destructive damage to your plant? And what causes this is known as the borer. Now borer is just a general umbrella term for a whole bunch of species that do exactly as the name suggests. They bore. Bore basically means like drilling into, creating a hole or a tunnel, and they do that by using their sharp teeth. Now borer, like I mentioned, is an umbrella term. There's approximately about 1,200 different species, different native species that are known to Australia. But the most common one that you'll see this sort of damage in a plant in your garden is known as the longhorn beetle, and I'll put a picture of that up on the screen. But that is what causes these dead branches in your hedge. Now, I've been in the game for many years in the lawn and garden industry, and all these years I've only ever seen the particular variety of the Murraya Paniculata hedge, the one that it gets attacked all the time by borers. I look after other lily-pilly hedges, etc., and they don't often eat those plants. So I'm not really sure as to why they only attack Murrayas. Maybe they just like the taste of the timber, so that's where they go. So yeah, that's the problem that causes this sort of damage. Let's move on to the signs to look out for before it gets to this sort of stage where the whole branch is dead. Alright everybody, before we move on to the signs and symptoms to look out for, I thought I might just mention as well for those who may be thinking about it or worried about their Murraya hedge sitting very close to their timber home. But let me put your mind at ease. The borer, or the type of species that bore into plants, are a different type of species that bore into homes. So if you, again, like I mentioned, if you find you have borers in your Murraya hedge, don't be concerned that they're going to make their way across to your house and start boring into that. They are a different type of species. Of course, if you're concerned about it, get a professional in, a pest control person, and they'll be able to direct you out of the best course of action from there. But anyway, I thought I'd just mention that just for a bit of helpful information in case you were worried. But anyway, let's move on to the signs to keep an eye out for when you are watching out for a Murraya hedge, or maybe you've started to notice a bit of discoloration in your hedge and you're worried that it's a borer. Now the first sign to keep an eye out for is of course something like this, the leaves starting to yellow or die off basically. And they'll more so of a sign that it'll be a borer is the plant or the leaves will yellow off in just one section of the hedge. Now you can see there is a big Murraya hedge here, but only this section has been affected. So that's what you want to keep an eye out for. You'll mostly also know that it's a borer as opposed to an actual disease is because it is just confined to one branch. So the best way to do that, if to worry if it's about a borer, is move the branches apart. Move your healthy ones apart, look for the affected limb, bring it out like so, and all of a sudden, see, this is not even a part of that limb. If I can spread that apart for you guys, you can see on here, there is no living stuff. This is just one branch that is completely dead with the living stuff around it coming off another section of the plant. So that's the first common sign. Look for the yellowing of the leaves and that it is segregated or condensed to one branch. That's generally the way it starts. The second sign will be, like I mentioned, that it is exactly that. It is confined to one or two branches, and you can do that by just doing what I did then, moving everything apart and checking it out. So that's the second sign. Now the third sign look down at the actual plant. Look down the actual trunk or branch and look for any bore holes. Now, if you can't see any bore holes, another sign maybe, now bear in mind when you're looking at plants, look really carefully and take your time. The amount of times people look over something and they don't really look closely at it, they just sort of brush over it, you will miss stuff. So look really carefully at the branch for any bore holes into the branch. Now, speaking of boring in, like drilling into a piece of timber, what happens when you drill into timber? Well, you have the flakes and the shavings come out. So that's another sign to look for if you have borers. Look down at the base of the plant, down here, and lo and behold, you will find some flakings from the borer after it's bored into the thingy. And lo and behold, we have some right here, and I'll show you them on camera. That's what they look like. See all this timber debris? That is from the borer digging it out and it dropping down to the ground. Now, hopefully the wind or rain hasn't washed it away and you'll be able to see those timber particles sitting on the base of your garden. So that is another sign to keep an eye out for a borer problem. Now, get back in there. Why I mentioned also it being confined to a section is more so because if you stand back and look at the Murraya plant, generally if it's an actual disease problem, it'll spread. It'll just spread across the plant, or it might start there and it'll start making its way quickly, or the whole plant will be affected most of the time. With borers, again, it is just really segregated or confined to a branch or two branches next to each other. So that's the things to keep an eye out for. And if you're unsure it's differing between a disease versus a pest problem, then they're the things that'll change it. Is it spreading out throughout the whole plant, or is it confined to one section? And that'll help you answer also whether it's a borer problem. So they're the signs to keep an eye out for. If you have any more helpful tips or anything else you'd like to add, please put them in the comments below so everyone watching can read the comments and also get helpful tips, and also me can learn other things from you guys and girls out there as well. But anyway, that's the signs. Keep an eye out for them in your Murraya hedge. All right, everybody, so the next step is to treat the area, and we do that mainly by cutting out the affected branches. And you can grab yourself some cutting tools like these loppers or a saw or a chainsaw or whatever, depending on the size of the branches you are cutting. But what you want to do is locate the affected branch, go down as far as you can till you find a healthy part of the branch, and you want to cut it off there. So then from that healthy cut point, it can sprout new growth and try to start to fill in the gapped area. So anyway, let's cut off this limb and I'll show you how it's done. All right, so here we are. Now we move your healthy branches away, and you can quickly see straight away the damage a borer does. Now, as you can see, it is it is bored straight down the middle of these branches. And this is the affected area. Now you can see here, this area affected, so that'll probably just, like I mentioned, snap off really easily. And again, oh, there he is. We found him. He's right there. Well, that was lucky. Got him in one go, but that doesn't mean he's the only one. There could be more. I'll just try and get this thing to focus so you can see him. You see him there? So that is the borer. Little turd. I mean, I know you're doing your job, mate, but crikey, making the hedge look terrible. So there you go. That is the borer. I was pretty lucky. I just snapped off the one bit and he was in there. So we'll put him to the side because we don't want to leave him in there. And that is the reason you are cutting out the affected limbs. Look at the damage he has caused. So yeah, as we mentioned, so we have this V shape here. Now this part, follow up, and you can see, okay, that has got live stuff on it, so we don't want to cut that out. But we know this bit running up here is the dead branch that runs down to here. So that'll most likely be where you want to make your first cut. So we'll grab I'll see if my secchies, it's a bit of a thick branch, but we'll see how we go. I think I'm due to sharpen my secateurs. Sorry, pardon me, I'm trying to hold one hand. Let's cut this bit out. All right, there we go. Okay, let me just put my secateurs away. All right, so that bit is out. And we'll have a quick look here. And you can see, sorry, my secateur, I probably shouldn't have cut that with seckies. They weren't big enough. I should have used your loppers, but I was just doing it for being able to hold the camera for everyone at home. So you can see now there is no more boring going on. So I've cut back to the healthy part of the plant. And what we've brought out is this giant bit here. And as you can see, I've cut it down to the healthy bit where there is no more boring going on. All right, everybody, well, you've removed the dead wood and the affected branches out of your Murraya, and now you're probably thinking, okay, time to spray an insecticide on the plant. But no, you don't have to with borers. Now, if you've got other issues and other insect problems, then yes, maybe you might need to spray something on there, but I don't always jump to spraying a strong chemical product on your plant because it gets into the dirt and into the environment and it's just not good. If you really want to spray something on your plant, you could look at something like an eco oil or something along that matter just to help the plant along. But at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, if I'm removing any dead wood from a borer issue, I don't spray the plant. All right, everybody, so the last step is to give your plant a good fertilize. Now, obviously, because it's unhealthy, it's been attacked, then it needs a lot of nutrients, a lot of food to recover and aid in fighting against ongoing pests and diseases. Now, you can do this by getting a good liquid fertilizer, something like Seaweed Secrets, which is what I use. Fantastic. You only need about 20 mils per 9-litre watering can. So give it a good feed with that. And I'd say at the same time, and do it before you do the liquid fertilizer, put down a slow release fertilizer in around the base. Don't do it after the liquid feed, or then you're just going to have to be going in and moving your mulch away in the soil and it's already wet with your liquid fertilizer. So do your granular first and then do your liquid feed afterwards. That'll you won't get your hands dirty moving all the wet stuff out of the way, but also 2, you're watering the granular that you've put down. So that'll start activating the granular. So you don't have to put irrigation on or come back with a hose and do it afterwards. So slow release granular first, liquid fertilizer second. But anyway, so fertilizing is your last step. 1, you want to make the plant healthier so it can fight against other pests and diseases, especially coming into the cooler temps we are now. You want your lawns and gardens and the plants in your gardens to be at their healthiest to fight against any frost or any damage like that. And the second reason is, of course, to speed up recovery. Unfortunately, you're just going to be living with a big gaping hole in that hedge, or your client is going to be. So we want to speed up filling in that gap as soon as possible so you can have it back to looking like a lush, lovely hedge that you maintain for your client or you look after on your own property. So that's the second reason, to speed up recovery in filling in this hole. But anyway, that's the last step in treating borers in your hedge or plant. All right, everybody, well, that's it for today's video. I hope you have found it informative. If you have, make sure you click the like button on this video. And if you know any friends or family or other clients who might be having the same problem with their Murraya plant, make sure you share the video to them, and that'll help them out there at home as well. Now, if you are after really good lawn and garden products based here in Queensland, Australia, make sure you jump on the Plant Doctor website, and they have all products lawn and garden related. They certainly have some good plant related fertilizers on there, both pellet and liquid or granular. You can go check that out. I'll leave a couple of the products up on the screen here that I would recommend that I use in my lawn and garden business here based in Brisbane. Now, when you jump on the website and you have selected the products you want to get, make sure at the end at the checkout you punch in the code MOTIME10, and that'll give you 10% and 10% off any product on their website. I'll leave that up on the screen, and I'll leave the link to the website down in the description below. I'll also leave down in the description the hedge reduction video I did on a Murraya. So if you're wanting to learn how to do a hedge reduction properly, then you can go click on that video, which is down in the description. Click on that, and hopefully you'll get some more informative information out of that video as well. But anyway, it's another beautiful blue sky autumn day here in Brisbane. It's a great day for a mow. As always, I hope you're all doing well mentally and physically. We'll see you all in the next video.